We'll start right at the top, guys. This is going to be a fun conversation. Breece Hall, currently number 11 overall, the running back for the Jets. He's surrounded by the two guys in front of him at 9 and 10, Javonte Williams and Cooper Kupp. Behind him, a couple of guys, Deebo Samuel, A.J. Brown, T. Higgins, 12, 13, and 14 in ADP, Matt. The only other running back in this group right here is Javonte Williams. I think that's where the funnest part of this conversation. You have to make a decision today. Which one are you building your team around, Javonte Williams or Breece Hall?
It's Javonte, and it's all of these receivers as well. I mean, I like Breece Hall fine. I think he's going to have a decent season, although the start of that Jets season is pretty brutal, so he could be slow out of the gate. But, at this high as a first-round pick, I understand why he's there, but I'll take every player in this grouping, both the running back and all four wide receivers.
Yeah, I mostly agree. I would certainly take the wide receivers above him. That's Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel, A.J. Brown, T. Higgins. I mean, that's, again, just a team-building strategy that I've talked about a million times. In almost every one of these, I'm going to prefer the wide receivers over the running backs. But I would go the other way when comparing Hall to Javonte. I would rather have Breece Hall at this point. I think the Jets have shown that, already, at least based on reports, that he's going to be the guy. I think Michael Carter will take a back seat and really not even be that 1B, but just be the pretty clear backup. That's the way I see it playing out. We know Melvin Gordon is still going to mix in with Javonte Williams, although I do expect that split to go in Williams' favor this year. But I mean, everything that we like about Williams, we should like about Breece Hall as well. And I think he's got a better stranglehold on the job.
I tend to lean towards the Breece Hall side too. I wasn't the leader of the Breece Hall fan club at all. But the more I've gone through this offseason and thought about that Jets offense, which should be well improved, the more I really like Hall and his upside as a rookie.
I'm really surprised to hear you guys say that. Javonte has Melvin Gordon behind him, who I think was an afterthought to the Broncos. Yes, he's back. Yes, he had a decent 2021 season. Yes, he's probably going to get some touches this year, but they let him go out and test the market. They only brought him back after he had already done that and nobody else was interested. Whereas Michael Carter is young and had a good season. I know they invested a lot in Breece Hall in draft capital terms, but I just think that the team is better in Denver. The quarterback is certainly better. I feel like after this season, after 2021, Javonte Williams is going to be valued quite a bit higher than Breece Hall is.
We got to get into Drake London, who comes in at 32 in July's ADP. A couple wide receivers right in front of him, Deontay Johnson and DJ Moore. After Drake London at 32, we get a couple running backs, Cam Akers and J.K. Dobbins. Where do you land on this one, Ryan?
Well, the two guys that are in front of him, those veteran wide receivers, are easy calls for me. I would prefer Deontay Johnson and DJ Moore over the rookie, and that's what our ADP says as well. It's close between London and the two running backs there coming off injury, Akers and Dobbins. I think I would ultimately go with either of those over Drake London here. I'm talking about an offense to worry about a little bit. This is one of them. It could be a rough rookie season for Drake London, and he's going to have a tough time, I think, maintaining this third round dynasty ADP.
I agree pretty much everything that Ryan said. I'm not sure about the maintaining value because I just think he's going to get so many targets in that offense it's really just him and Pitts, and we can talk about the other bit players. I like Auden Tate, Brian Edwards. Maybe he has something on a second team, but I think that him and Pitts are just going to get so many targets that he'll maintain this. That said, prefer both receivers and Dobbins easily. Cam Akers is a little bit closer for me. But I think ultimately I would probably take Akers as well.
Kenneth Walker III, somebody we touched on already. He falls in at 45. So late fourth round pick for Kenneth Walker. Guys surrounding him just ahead. A couple veteran Tampa Bay wide receivers, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. After Kenneth Walker, you get Antonio Gibson and George Kittle, Matt. Where do you fall here?
I want all of them over Kenneth Walker. Every single one. I think Gibson is maybe a conversation if you don't believe in the talent now or the role. You don't think the role is going to be good now that McKissick is back and they brought in Brian Robinson. But the receivers, even if it's just for this season that we're going to really have a standout season for Mike Evans, I think Godwin's going to have many more years. And Kittle, I think, I'd rather have the elite tight end a rookie running back who's apparently going to be, not playing because Penny's going to get all the touches.
This just tells me that I don't want to pick in the late 4th round of a
Yeah.
dynasty startup.
Yeah.
I like Chris Godwin. He's the one guy that stands out here to me. And I mean, Mike Evans and George Kittle certainly aren't bad players. You still want those guys on your team. But this looks like one of those dead zones to me. Maybe I'm starting to figure out why Kenneth Walker lands in this range. The old tight end or the old wide receiver or the running back who hasn't really done anything yet. And maybe you talk yourself into the rookie. So I get it a little bit more in context. At the end of the day, I'm taking all 4 of these guys over Walker as well, though.
Treylon Burks is one of those guys in that range at 54 overall. He's got David Montgomery and Keenan Allen above him in ADP. He's got our guy Elijah Moore right behind him, and then Leonard Fournette, who we talked about earlier. Ryan, this is a fun one. Which way are you going here?
This is an ugly one. Elijah Moore is, like a diamond in this pile of garbage here. So I think Elijah Moore stands out. Well, okay, it might be a little strong, but I think Elijah Moore stands out certainly as the guy I would prefer out of this group. I'm just not spending a 5th round pick on David Montgomery or Leonard Fournette or a 30-year-old wide receiver. So I want more for sure, and Burks would be my second choice. But again, this is kind of a continuation of that late 4th round range. Maybe it's mid 4th to mid 5th. Elijah Moore and Judy stand out, and the rest I'm trying to avoid.
Yeah, I'm going to take Burks number 1, but Moore is a close second. So yeah, Montgomery, you're out. Allen, I love you, but you're out. Fournette, you're too fat. Sorry. We're gonna take Burks and his breathing issues over you and your 260 pounds. Elijah Moore is very close. But I just think ultimately Wilson is going to be the wide receiver 1 in that group, and I think Burks is going to be the wide receiver 1 there. So it's just a slight edge over Elijah Moore for me. But that could certainly be wrong.
I think this time next year, Elijah Moore is a 2nd round dynasty startup pick.
I could see it. I could see it.
I was just about to say, we've talked about 10 players over these last 2, and Elijah Moore is the best player in the out of the last 10 names we've mentioned.
Does that mean Garrett Wilson's going to be a 1st round pick then next year?
Oh, geez. Oh, boy. That's a conversation for another podcast. Let's move on to another wide receiver, 62 overall, Chris Olave. Some guys around him, Cortland Sutton, Lamar Jackson, get a quarterback in here, Darren Waller, and Brandon Cooks. So we're touching on a few different position groups here, Matt. Where does Chris Olave fall among these 5 guys?
I'm really coming around to the idea that Olave is going to be the most productive rookie wide receiver. And to me, that means he's going to shoot up in value. Since it's a 1 quarterback league, I'm probably going to pass on Lamar Jackson. I just think that the path for Olave to production is so clear, and it is for Sutton as well. But you get the youth with Olave. If Michael Thomas is healthy, I just feel like him and Jarvis Landry are gonna do a lot of the same things. Neither of them are gonna really be deep threats, and Olave has that part of his game on lock, and we know that he can win at the other areas of the field too. So he seems to be the biggest benefactor of those 3, I think, from that New Orleans situation.
I'm with Matt. I want Chris Olave here as well. This is I think the first time I'm taking the rookie out of the group. It's Olave, Sutton close behind, and the rest kind of left behind after that.
Touche. Well said. Let's go right after that. We ended with Brandon Cooks on the last group. Let's start with him here at 63. He's right in front of Jameson Williams. And then it's Joe Burrow, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Devontae Smith. This is an interesting conversation because there's a couple of Detroit wide receivers, one with some great draft capital, but is an injured rookie. The other, of course, not so much draft capital and had an amazing rookie season. Ryan, I got to know who you prefer here. Who's your number 1 guy out of this tier of 5?
I'm not sure I even know. You got to compare. You're comparing the 2 Detroit guys. Which of those do you feel better about? And then comparing the 2, skinny deep threats and Jameson Williams and Devontae Smith. I think between those 2, while I like both, we've at least seen Devontae Smith do it, and he's in a better offense. So I want Smith over Jameson Williams. I think I'm going to take St. Brown here, which I didn't think that's the way I would go, but Again, talk about we've seen it. We saw him produce. I know Swift was out. I know Hawkinson was out, but still, the way the numbers he put up, bad players just don't do that. And so I'm going with Amon-Ra. I'm surprising myself here a little bit.
Yeah, I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is pretty undervalued right now. You said Elijah Moore is going to be a second or third round startup pick next year. I think it might Amon-Ra St. Brown might also join him there. You can say whatever you want about all of the targets that disappeared around him, and he was the last man standing in Detroit. But if we think about what Jared Goff does well, think about back in Los Angeles with Cooper Kupp. Not that they're the same player, St. Brown and Cooper Kupp, but he does a lot of the same things over the middle of the field. Those short intermediate passes are where Jared Goff is comfortable, where he's efficient. It's clear they have a rapport. I don't think he's going away. And I love Jameson Williams as a talent. And, long term, maybe he does have more value, especially with the draft capital over St. Brown. But I think we're going to have to move on from Goff to really unlock him. So I'm going to take St. Brown here too.